Navy Fed just closed my two credit cards. I didn't do anything wrong. My FICO score is 593, and when I went to the branch, they said I should call the 1-800 number. Okay, don't worry, I'm not talking about me. I'm just reporting to you a recent case that was brought over to us by a viewer. And in today's conversation, what I want to do is my team and we want to really dissect the whole problem or the whole situation. And so if you are interested in this case, I want you to stick around till the end. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sorty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great and blessed as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, we have a case that was brought over to us by a viewer, and this actually happened over the last 3 weeks. We had a series of emails with her, and so what's really going on here? I'm going to summarize everything for our viewers to actually pitch in if they wanted to contribute. So I want to give the foundation of today's conversation. So this situation is about Sarah J. Obviously, we just we hit your last name, Sarah, and she is 33 years old. She's a full-time writer. She's divorced with 2 kids. Okay, she lives in the beautiful city of Arlington, Virginia, and she actually earns $57,000 on average. She has earned that amount in the last 3 years, so this is pretty decent, pretty solid, $57,000. And her FICO score is where the problem we believe the problem starts, 593, okay? And she has been an NFCU member since 2016. And the thing is, she held both cards since 2018. So that's really the foundation of the conversation. One thing I want to say to our viewers also is that based on the conversations we had, based on the emails we exchanged with Sarah, she had said that basically she actually has 2 other credit cards. She has one with Chase, I believe she said, and then she has another one with Bank of America. So she has 4 credit cards in general. So even though NFCU just closed her 2 credit cards abruptly, which we will get to that anyway very, very quickly, and so she still has 2 other credit cards, okay? And her 2 kids she has shared custody. So during the week, the kids are with her. She actually works from home. She's a full-time writer. So she works from home, and she basically takes care of the kids during the week, and on the weekends they go to their father. Okay, so I just want to give everybody the foundation, the context within which today's conversation will be held, so everybody has a clear idea of what we are speaking about. First things first, Sarah, I want to ask you a question. Did you get any negative events in the past? I'm talking about NSF events, or I'm talking about anything derogatory. Because the thing here is that you are making $57,000 a year, but your FICO score is low, which means that you might, and again, I'm speculating here, but I'm just saying there are certain questions, there are certain answers you did not provide as our team was exchanging emails with you. My question is, if you have a low FICO score, that means that monetarily speaking, you might have some hiccups, you might have some problems. So did you get any negative events in the past? I mean, bankruptcy, collection, charge-offs, whatever. Talk to me about that. Sis, talk to me about that. Have you received any warning from NFCU? Because really, Navy Fed closing accounts abruptly is not their procedure. I mean, Navy Fed is a very methodical institution. We've been with them more than 30 years. They do not operate that way. They don't do this. So what I'm trying to say here is what I'm trying to say indirectly is that your tale, your story has some hidden parts, has some missing parts, and we need those missing pieces of the puzzle to actually reconstruct the whole puzzle. So if you are listening to me right now, and I know you are, you can send us an email or you can just comment below in the comment section and give us all the answers I'm asking you. So have you received any warning from NFCU? Have you had any NSF events? Have you been bouncing checks? Because this could be problematic to your NFCU membership at all overall. I'm not even talking about closing credit cards. Because see, if they close your credit cards, what else is coming? What's next? So I don't want you to take these things like lightly at all. Obviously, if you reached out to us, this is because the problem is very important to you, and we're going to help you. I promise we're going to help you solve this problem. That's for sure. So, but the question is, have you had any NSF events? I want you to answer those questions to me the next time you contact us, either in the comment section below or in email. When did you divorce? Okay, was your husband also using the card with you before? I'm talking about, because you said that you divorced. You are divorced with 2 kids. Okay, but when was the last time that your husband actually used the card? Was he using the cards for that matter? Because this is important. And what have you been using the card for? I mean, have you been using? And here I'm asking questions about the 2 credit cards. Okay, so have you been using the cards for grocery, entertainment? What kind of category? What kind of expenses were you charging on the card? This is very important. And daughter, I want you to be careful here. I want you to be careful because, I think I just said it. The fact that both cards were closed, this is a big deal. Are you probably just walking around thinking this is a small thing? No. This is a big deal. And we have rarely heard about Navy Fed closing credit cards without warning. See, that's the whole thing. It's not about just them closing the cards, over. No. The fact that they have not warned you before closing the cards, if this were to be true, this is not a good thing for you. Why? Your NFCU membership could be a risk. So don't play with this. Don't take it lightly at all. I mean, I'm just begging you. I'm begging the hell out of you. I just want you to take it seriously here. Okay. So you want to check if there has been a case of identity theft. This could be a situation because if NFCU is just waking up one day and just saying, you know what, we're just closing her asses down or whatever. We don't care. And not just one card, not just one credit card, 2 credit cards. So in other words, there is a problem with your account. It's not about the credit card here, because unless you have been unfortunate enough to have been a victim of identity theft on both credit cards, okay, which again, we're not here trying to accuse anybody, but you have to check on your husband's side too, on your ex-husband's side as well, making sure that nobody's playing games, okay? Very important. So the thing is, my question to you is, you said that you actually went to the branch, okay? You went to the branch, and the question is, which specific branch did you go to? The cool thing is there are many branches in Arlington, Virginia. We love that city. We've been I personally, yours sincerely, have been at a lot of branches there, very friendly branches. So I'm kind of surprised. We really are surprised that you went to the branch and they told you to call the 1-800 number. Usually it's the opposite. When you call the 1-800 number, they will tell you to go to the branch. But now you're saying that you actually went to the branch and they told you to call the toll-free number. It just doesn't make sense to me. This sounds like a Disney story. Okay, hey, listen, hey, I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you out. We are going to find a solution, guaranteed. But I'm just telling you the way our team felt when we read your story. Okay, and because again, you are in Arlington. And Navy Fed has several branches in Arlington. So if you went to one, you could probably go to another one or a third one. Sometimes in medicine, you want to have a second opinion from another doctor, another physician. So solution idea number 1. Sarah. The first thing you want to do is you want to run a background check on yourself. You got to run a background check on yourself. See, the thing is that the fact that Navy Fed is closing your accounts abruptly without warning means there's something fishy going on. And that thing is on you. The burden of proof is on you. So I want you to really run a background check to really have a clear idea of what's going on about yourself. Okay. The thing here is that when we talk about doing a background check on yourself, a complete background check, and please do not look for anything free. I don't want your ass to be greedy at this particular moment. No, you are making 57 grand a year. You can actually spare $25 or $30 or have you to actually pay for a complete background check that will cost you $25 or $30. Okay, maximum $50, because the background check will encompass your credit report, your address history, everything, where you have been, your driving records, your criminal background, okay, your education and job history. If you have been on any kind of specialized list, for instance, have you been on a watch list for sex offenders, or you have been on a National Crime Information Center, you have been on National Instant Criminal Background Check System. What I'm trying to tell you here is what? Let me just break it down for you, and I'm just going to be straight, very straight. The thing is, you are trying to make sure there is nothing in your records that could actually give cause for Navy Fed to actually take adversarial action against you without warning. And see, that's what really scares the hell out of us. When we read your story, we're like, wow, okay, how come they never told her anything? I mean, if this story were to be true, and I hope that it is true, it just means there's something bigger happening here. So if they have not warned you, that means they have information that you don't have. And one way to get that, to sort of get intel on yourself, is to see what's publicly available. Okay, publicly available. So this is very important to start thinking about all the puzzles, all the pieces of the puzzle, of your puzzle. Very important. Okay, so just run a background check on yourself. There are a lot of resources online on where you can buy that background check. If you want, just drop us a question or just email us. We'll let you know the best service that we use for background checks. Solution idea number 2. You want to check your credit reports and scores at all 3 credit reporting agencies. Everybody knows that Navy Fed pulls TransUnion, okay? But in this particular case, what you want to do here is you want to check your TransUnion credit report and score. You want to do the same for Experian, and you want to do the same for Equifax. Why? Because you want to have a bird's eye view of what's really happening in your FICO scores. The same thing you did with your with the background check. You got to do something holistic, something deep. You have to go granular. You have to go detailed with your credit report. Check everything. The goal of this initiative is what? You want to make sure that you have access to all the data that Navy Fed could have access to. This is really important. That way you can actually be on the same, you can level the playing field in terms of intelligence about yourself. Again, we are here doing what? We are trying to be proactive against fraud. We are trying to spot and dispute errors, Sarah. This is what we're trying to do. And again, if you do it right, you don't have to pay for it. I'm not asking you, see, all the solutions we are giving you are not deal breakers. They're not going to break your bank at all. So don't be a stingy ass with $25 or $30 and say, this is just too much. I ain't doing it. No, your credit cards, and by extension, your relationship, your membership with NFCU those two are way bigger than $35 or $30. So if you have to pay to get access to your 3 credit reports, pay for that. The whole thing is for you to get access to info, to get intel, okay? So you can check your credit reports. You can also check it at annualcreditreport.com. But sometimes if you want to go a little deeper, it's more important for you to actually pay for it, okay? So that way if there is a data breach, if there is something going on, if somebody else is using your name, your good name and credit and social security number, Because if Navy Fed thinks that you are misusing your cards, or somebody is misusing your cards, they're just going to close the cards, because they're just trying to cover their asses too. They're not going to let you. They're not going to let someone pretending to be you charge thousands of dollars on the card. I don't even know the limits that you had on the card before they were closed. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are also having a conversation about a story that Sarah sent to us. A problem, this is a situation that she sent to us, and we are trying to help her out. So, Sarah, solution idea number 3. You need to see if you can detect credit card fraud. In other words, were those 2 credit cards subject to fraud before being closed by Navy Fed? This is why I was just telling you before, if you are in good terms with your ex-husband, and if you guys did not divorce not long ago, to actually reach out to him and see if something could be happening on his side. I'm not saying it's his fault, but maybe, stuff happens. You never know. You never know. Maybe he has the data related to, he has maybe a credit card statement, old credit card statement, and that he left somewhere publicly, whatever. We can just sit here and hypothesize. But what I'm trying to say here is that you want to actually ask anybody who is involved, especially your husband, to see if they can help. So, but you right now, see if you can detect some credit card fraud. How can you do this? Well, you can look at your credit card statements. For example, look at the past statements. Let's say for the 6 months or 9 months before Navy Fed closed the accounts, and you want to go line by line. So because the whole thing is to distinguish between fraud and simple error, right? Because there are some errors that are just legit, and there are some errors that are just so big they're just frauds. The whole thing here is that it's for you to actually be in a situation where you can recognize transactions that were valid and transactions that were not, even though they pertain to your ex. Okay, so this is important. So you want to determine if there was fraud. But the thing is, before you even contact Navy Fed, I want you to do your own digging. I don't want you to really, just go to Navy Fed and whatever they tell you, you can go, but you will go back and just do more research. No, I want you to do the due diligence yourself extensively before you contact Navy Fed. That way, when you go to a meeting with them, you are going prepared. You are going armed with data, with intel that they have or they may not have. Okay, so you can actually remember that if there is a credit card fraud investigation, if there was ever one about your credit cards, Navy Fed will let you know, and Navy Fed will actually reverse the hypothetical transactions that have been charged to the card. But again, here we are in full hypothesis here, and that's why I want you to really answer us. All the questions that I'm asking you, they are not rhetorical questions. They're not rhetorical questions. They are real questions, and the real questions that need real answers. Solution idea number 4. Sarah, this is where I really want you to show me that you are for real here. You got to go to a branch again, but this time I want you to go to several branches, because you said, I went to a branch and they told me to call the 1-800 number. This is a reverse movement that we've never seen before. As I said earlier, it usually goes the other way around. You call the 1-800 number or you send an email and they tell you, hey, please, go to a branch to solve the problem. What I want you to do right now is to go to 2 or 3 or 4 branches. Take the time. If one does not work, go to another. You know why? Your membership within NFCU is at risk. I'm just giving it to you straight. And again, we're not talking about, don't you listen to stories about folks saying, no, your membership is not at risk. He's overblowing it, whatever. Listen, we've been Navy Fed for more than 30 years. I'm telling you, your membership is at risk. So Navy Fed has 10 or 15 branches in Arlington, Virginia. You can literally walk to 2 or 3 or 4 branches. You can walk. You don't have to drive. You don't have to drive. So what I'm asking you is to take, you work from home. You work from home. So you're not going to work. You're not you don't have quote unquote a regular job going to a 9 to 5 where you have to go to an office. So why don't you just take one day off or one morning off and just take care of these things? Okay, all the hacks I'm giving you, just make sure that you do them before you go to a branch. And you want to ask Navy Fed, what happened? Why did they close your account, your 2 credit cards? And take the credit cards with you physically, the physical credit cards. Okay, you want to ask them why. It's all about answer gathering. It's all about fact gathering. Be really polite though. We say this all the time. When you go to a branch, don't you have this gung-ho attitude, this ego, whatever. No, you want to be humble. You want to be polite. You want to be courteous so that folks can help you out. Ask how did that happen. Ask when they decided to close the account. It's all about fact gathering. It's all about understanding what really happened. And ask them, what would it take for the cards to be reopened? Because they have to reopen the card. You haven't done anything wrong, at least based on what you told us, that you haven't done anything wrong. So they have to actually pinpoint the source of the problem, and either they fix it, because this whole thing could be a glitch, could actually result from a glitch. So you never know. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Dear beloved viewers, and Sarah, we love you too, okay? Viewers, we love you. We need you to help Sarah with some suggestions, some questions, some comments. We want to have a lively discussion about this because this sister really needs help. She needs guidance, okay? If there's anything else that you think she could do to actually make sure that the 2 credit cards are reopened, please just put it in the comment section, and we'll really appreciate it. God bless you. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.